we're gonna talk about our midsection setup to begin. So when we go to do a shoulder press, a lot of people will really lose the tension into their trunk, and they're gonna result in an anterior pelvic tilt or excessive lumbar extension, or in layman's terms, really arching our low back. So usually what that is a sign of is a couple things: relative weakness or instability from your trunk to your shoulder, or not having adequate shoulder flexion, range of motion to get into the overhead position without arching. So if my shoulder is limited to flexion here, I can kind of arch my back and get to a higher overhead position. So a simple way to test that: go to the ground, laying flat on your back, tuck your butt under you, push your back into the ground, and then try to reach overhead as far as you can, trying to get your hand to the ground without bending your elbow or your wrist. And that just assesses what mobility do you have. Another compensation is if the weight's too heavy, people will compensate because their shoulders are weaker. So be mindful that if you do have the range of motion, more than likely it's a strength or a coordination issue. So you need to drop the weight and focus on your technique. As always, quality over quantity. Okay, so when we get set up, we like to cue what we call the scapular plane. So this is kind of my elbows not being perfectly in front, my elbows not all the way at the side. There's a happy medium. And this is typically the path of least resistance, where your shoulder travels the most comfortable and allows for your shoulder blades to get into an upright position or upward rotation, which puts you in a better, more stable position for your shoulders. So I like to cue glutes turned on, abs tight, big breath in, press and reach toward the ceiling so you're getting all the way overhead. Again, being mindful of my trunk position, my low back. Am I really arching my low back in order to get into that overhead position? If that's you, kind of go back to the video a couple seconds ago where we're talking about mobility versus strength, those types of things. If you can self-correct, drop the weight so it's not as intense, and then go from there.